Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Linda Mwibanda, and I take this opportunity to welcome you to Week 4 webinar. In this webinar, we are joined in by our panelists, that is our instructors, that is Patricia Malusi, and also we have a guest speaker, that is Frederick Wahome. And Frederick Wahome is a founder and a CEO at Secunet Technologies Limited. He is also a co-founder and a vice chair at Kenya Cybersecurity and Forensics Association. He is a director at Fremtech College of Technology that provides technical trainings in cybersecurity, information technology, and business entrepreneurship. He is the lead angel investor at Cybercell Fund, which provides online crowdfunding to encourage innovation in cybersecurity within Africa. He also assists the education sector to integrate cybersecurity into their technical processes to align to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, that is SDG 4. He is also a mentor at Campus Mentor Lab, KML, which builds capacity for the young professionals and equip them with skills in living impactful lives through their profession. Clearly, our guest speaker is knowledgeable and highly skilled in matters of cybersecurity. So I encourage you to pay maximum attention to his presentation and ask him questions for clarification and guidance, because this webinar is summarizing Week 4, and it also adds knowledge or rather information that were not covered within Week 4. With that, I welcome you with Frederick to take over. Frederick.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. And I'm delighted to be here this evening. It is an honor and a privilege. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It's an honor to be able to share this platform with the teachers, those who are able to transfer knowledge and skills to young people around the world. I'm also a product of teachers, because where I am right now, I cannot remember any time that I have never been without a teacher. And having and sharing a platform with teachers to now also participate in that knowledge sharing, it is such an honor. And thank you very much. And I know that you have also been taken through a number of sessions over time, touching on the issue of technology, touching on the issue of cybersecurity, cyber risk. And someone would ask, why is cybersecurity important? Why does it even matter to us as teachers? And just, spending a minute to be able to look at the context, why it is important. We are in a very interesting season, or rather dispensation, where there's a lot of digital transformation that is happening globally, and also courtesy of COVID-19, which was like a blessing in disguise. We saw a lot of changes, rapid changes, disruptions, which made us, so it exposed us like we were not the screen, even as we proceed in the interest of time. So as I was saying, we are in a very interesting dispensation where as long as you have a phone, as long as you have an email, as long as you know something about technology, you can become a victim of the same technology. And as teachers in our learning institutions, we have that responsibility to understand what are these new risks which are coming up, which can make some impact or can affect the way we deliver knowledge to our learners. Also, they can also affect us at personal level, because you can be a consumer of the same technology and you end up being a victim of the same technology. So that is why we are here, and I commend those who have been able to present before me, because I know that they also shared some knowledge. And today's session is very interesting. So we are looking at emerging technologies, and there's a pictorial representation here which just summarizes the issue of emerging technology. We have a number of them. We have machine learning, we have cloud computing, we have automation, a number of them that institutions of high learning, we have the education centers, universities, colleges, they can take advantage so that it becomes easier for them to be able to reach out to the student, and also to make it efficient when they are serving the students. And if you look at this, the issue of cyber threat and our institutions of learning is not something that is like a story. The last year, around September, in the US, one of the biggest schools in LA, there was infiltration, and the data breach resulted into so much loss of the student data, the private data within the institution. And as you can see, the second pictorial here, you can see that so much documents were leaked in January this year within institutions of learning, and a lot of so many cases around the world. So as you can see, the issue of cyber threat and the schools, it is not something that is theoretical. We have seen institutions of learning being compromised, being breached, and records are stolen, private information which has to do with students, and also even the teachers get lost. And what is the institutions around the world doing? Like we have the UN, they have really factored in the issue of education, and they are looking at it from the context of technology. And if you look at SDG 4, the Sustainable Development Goal, that by 2030, this should have happened. So if you look at the target 4, the SDG number 4, it has around 8 or 10 targets. And if you look at target 4, it details that by 2030, we are looking at our youth, our young people being empowered in terms of skill, which is going to result into an income generation for them. But this is going to be enabled through technology, access to technology. But now, if the issue of the cyber threat, the emerging technology is not addressed in time in most of our institutions of learning, this goal is going to be affected negatively, because if a cyber breach happens, the systems that are being used for students to learn, for teachers to distribute their knowledge, what will happen is that goal is going to be affected negatively, and in effect, we are not going to achieve that specific goal according to the United Nations. A few definition of terms. What is the emerging? Because we are looking at the emerging technologies in our institutions, in the education sector. And just to summarize, emerging is something that is becoming prominent. Like now, out of COVID-19, we have seen many institutions take advantage of Zoom as a platform. We have seen them take advantage of e-learning. Like now, I'm taking a master's from Sunderland, which is in the UK. And it is like I am there, because we usually use different technology platforms. We usually even do labs, but we do them when I'm still here, and I'm able to attend labs, remotely. So I'm not sharing something that maybe I have had. It is something that I'm also a beneficiary as a student. Now you as a teacher, How can you also take advantage of this emerging technology? What are the emerging threats? These are threats which may come because of this emerging technology. And we'll also look at cyber risk. And cyber risk is where you are dealing with technology. You want the technology to assist you, to disseminate knowledge, to transfer knowledge to your students, but something comes in between. So you have an email, you are supposed to send, some assignment to your students. Someone, intercept or comes in between you and the email, and maybe the recipient of the email, and they don't receive the email. So that is all about the cyber risk. And now we have cyber incident response. This is like preparing yourself in advance as a teacher, as an institution. So you prepare, you anticipate that in the event of a cyber breach, this is what I'm going to do. Because when these things happen, out of experience, we have seen people panic. So they get into the panic mode. Maybe data was lost, and before you know it, it becomes such a serious challenge. So we are now going to get into what are some of these emerging technologies, these new technologies that are coming up out of innovation. And also there are technologies that is an improvement. There is a continuous improvement to the already existing platforms. So we have online platforms, but someone comes and innovate around that platform to make it maybe a bit easier, a bit simpler for someone who wants to take advantage of that and interact with the student. One of them is artificial intelligence, which is actually so mentioned around the world, mentioned on social media, on Google. When you search, there's now a new product which is actually becoming very popular in almost every sector. But in the education sector, we have seen it being used at the tool. One of the tools within artificial intelligence is ChatGPT. At the end of this presentation, we are going to look at one example of such a tool and how you as a teacher, you can take advantage, and also you can also advise your students as well. Without going through all the how it can be used, one of the advantage or benefits of artificial intelligence is you can use it as a virtual facilitator. For instance, what I'm doing here, it is possible to take advantage of artificial intelligence to deliver the same thing that I'm delivering right now. You can also do a chatbot. A chatbot is a small software, a software application that you can use it. Then it can help you to advance a specific task. For instance, let's say when you have online classes, there's a way that you mark the assignment. So it is possible to program, with the help of a programmer or an IT person, and that chatbot is going to assist you. As a teacher, you may need to respond to some inquiries online. You can have a chatbot. So another one is virtual reality. You're going to look at a number of graphics. And one example is CBC VR for those institutions or the teachers who may like to take advantage of that. Another one is Oculus. And some of the benefits is with virtual reality. It really helps you. Like we are taking advantage of this when I'm taking my course. And it helps you to understand complex concepts. For instance, if you are teaching mathematics, there's a way that the virtual reality can be able to be programmed, especially when, let's say, you are teaching mathematics, a very difficult mathematics concept. It is now becoming easier. So there's a way that the students will be able to wear that VR, will see it, and then it will become easier for them to understand such concept. Also, you can take advantage you can even travel around the world through the VR, but you are still stationed where you are. You just need to know how to use it, and you are going to travel around the world, and you will have such an experience. Another one is virtual learning, and I'm sure most of us we have had an encounter with this. Like now we are using a Zoom platform to be able to to be able to deliver this specific session. And some of the benefits is there is that increased collaboration. You can imagine that we are here and we are able to deliver this and transfer this knowledge to so many people who are around the world. So this is the part of collaboration, and you can be able to connect with someone through the chat when you are still using the Zoom platform. And it can also provide some sort of cost effectiveness. Imagine if this was to happen physically, this training, you can imagine the cost. So another one that is coming up very well is gamification. This is just use of games, especially for our kids between 2 to 9. I have children and I have been taking advantage of gamification to try and teach them a few things which are very important for them. And one example, we have very key that is called Kahoot. You can check it online. It is a platform that you can take advantage as a teacher, regardless of the level that your students are. If let's say you are dealing with K-12, you are dealing with between 2 to 9, you are dealing between 9 to 15 to 25, they can be able to take advantage. And one advantage of gamification is you encourage the rewarding system. So let's say they are given some assignments, and then on accomplishing the assignments, there are some incentives or some points. Every time they achieve a specific goal, they are upgraded to the next level. So it also increases their motivation to learn. Because we are dealing a lot with the millennials, and these people, putting them in a class for them to really understand, they may need some sort of motivation. And we have seen when you use gamification as compared to the normal learning, the conventional way of teaching, somehow it increases their level of motivation. Another one is AR. Allow me to brush through because we need to look at a few other things. AR is almost equal to VR, but it's very different in terms of the the benefits that you draw by you using AR. And we have heard about Metaverse from Facebook, and this is a platform where it will not just be used for social media and social networking. As an institution or as a teacher, you can take advantage of Metaverse to deliver some courses, to deliver some trainings to your students. And a few advantages. One of it is it really helps to develop the spatial intelligence. What is spatial intelligence? This is in our mind. This is a part within our mind where this part is well educated when you project graphics, images. So the mind is able to easily draw some insights from graphics. So you can try to teach a specific mathematics concept, for instance, but if you present it from a graphical representation, but take advantage of AR, it develops the child or the student's spatial intelligence. So their capacity to grasp things and hard things, it becomes easier. And if you look at the first one, you can see fast problem solving. This is one of the key soft skills that we have seen that many students, they lack. So they do in a course, but if they are not well taught on the problem solving as a soft skill, it becomes very hard for them, even when they are going into the future, getting into the STEM. The STEM is now encouraging more young people to get into science and technology. So if you are considering for your students to get into science and technology, you can take advantage of AR, and we'll see a photo of that. Another one is digital technology or e-learning. Some of us are conversant with this. We have an example of one called Moodle. You can check it online. It is free of charge. All you need is to have a good relationship with an IT person, and they are going to guide you. There's also mooc.org. They have courses there, and some of the courses are free of charge. And as a teacher, actually, in this dispensation of the digital transformation, if as teachers, you are not very careful, you may find yourself becoming irrelevant because technology is taking over. The artificial intelligence might take over some of the courses that are trained. But for you to remain relevant as a teacher and transference of skills, you have to know about these e-learning platforms. And of course, there's the cost effectiveness. If you are delivering your trainings, your courses through e-learning, it saves the cost. Another one is the effectiveness. Like now, I'll be having a class later on tonight with one of my lecturers at around 11 p.m. East African time. So the effectiveness during the day, I have been, productive doing other things, but at night I'm still learning. So I also want to challenge teachers. Take advantage of these platforms for yourself and also for the students. And the last one is the machine learning. We are going to look at one example. And let's say you are doing a research, you are writing a paper, you have given your students some work. Now it is free. You can go online, you type that grammarly, and it is going to help you to look at the spelling mistakes, to make sure that someone is not copying someone else's work. So allow me to, and one of the advantage, of course, is improvement in curriculum that you are already making. So a curriculum that is free of grammatical errors. Also, it comes to support teachers. At times, you want to look at a document that is 300 pages document. But if you take advantage of machine learning, it becomes easier for you. So let's look at a few images. So like this is an example of artificial intelligence. As you can see here, it shows something that just a minute, allow me to go back. So if you look at this, you can see the complex mathematical, operations happening here. And the image is showing us that it is possible now to take advantage of artificial intelligence to try and simplify most of complex mathematical systems. So this is an example of virtual reality. So there are some gadgets that you buy, then they are programmed by an IT person. So if you want to have the content, depending on the content that you want, like you can see this is a chemistry class, and the class have, they have digitized the content, and there's a way that you are able to put this content into these specific devices. So these devices are already available. You can procure for yourself, or even for your school, or even for your own class. And they are going to take advantage of the benefits that you have already seen in the previous slide. So this is how it will look like, the VR. Then this is the AR. You purchase. Then if let's say you are in the science class, or you are dealing with science, you are dealing with engineering, there's a way that it is programmed within the device. That is within in this case, we have the tablet here. And the student, it becomes easier for the student to be able to understand. They will have like, it is a screen, yes, and whatever is they are seeing is in the screen, but it will be possible like they are touching the human parts, like you can see here. So the same way metaverse, they are saying that through online, it's like you'll be interacting in real time with the other person. Let's say the person is in the US, the other one is in, let's say, Kenya. It's like you'll be interacting in real time, and you can even you can feel. So the same principle is used for this AR. When you come to the e-learning, all you need is a laptop, you need an internet connection. We have seen internet costs comes lower, and you can see a number of platforms there. You can see Zoom, there's another one called Kotobi, there's LearnCube, and most of these applications somehow, apart from Zoom, you may pay some fee. But for Zoom, for instance, if you have a class that has up to 100 students, and then up to 40 minutes. It is free of charge. You can be able to start from somewhere. Assuming you don't have a budget for this emerging technology, you just need to know about it. Like now you have known about it. Go online, start using the tool up to a point when there will be justification for something like a budget. So this is gamification, and there has been a research that was done, and 67% of the students, they say that gamified learning is more motivating and engaging than traditional courses. So what they are saying is that if you have an option to deliver your trainings or your teachings or your course through gamification platforms that we have shared there, then it increases the student motivation. And if the student is motivated, it goes without saying that they are going to understand. And the biggest fulfillment for any teacher is to know that the students are interested in what the teacher is teaching, and also they are motivated to understand. So we now go to we have looked at a few examples of the emerging technologies, and these technologies started coming up in the last 5 years. Looking into the future, we are not sure if some courses actually will need teachers, and this is where the teachers, you also need to become relevant, even as we are very happy that they are emerging technologies. So we have to also remain relevant. What will make you to still be in that school or that institution, even as the school take advantage of artificial intelligence? Some of the risk, we can paint a very good picture concerning these specific technologies, but for every technology and anything, there is the pro and the con. So advantage, disadvantage. One of the disadvantage we are looking at is the risk. And what we mean by risk is there anything which can result out of you using the technology to negatively affect your delivering of this knowledge to your audience? For instance, like now, I have about 2 or 3 internets, but you see, somehow you may lose my voice, you may lose my audio, because these are challenges with technology. And there is no technology that is 100% at all, because it is built by a human being. So we are talking of virtual reality. So the more we are using this virtual reality, the more somehow we give up the privacy issues. So their students will be very conscious of their privacy. But now you are delivering the courses to them through the virtual reality. So what is the implication? They lose their privacy issues. And let's say, when you have to wear that thing, you have to use your eyes, the retina, the scans, the fingerprints. All these information is collected by the virtual reality, and somehow it gets into someone's head illegally. You lose the privacy. When you look at the machine learning, the one that helps you to do some sort of grammatical corrections, but if you rely a lot on machine learning, the quality of the data that maybe you need, sometimes it may be easier or good for you to counter-check the data manually, one by one. There may be data bias because this thing is programmed, and someone can program it to give biasness, in any data. We have seen it online. Laziness to the users. If you have a document that is, let's say, 10 pages document, and you want to review it word by word, somehow at the end of that, you may be tired, but there's some growth in you and some sort of productivity. But now when you know that you have machine learning, it can encourage laziness, both to the students and also to the teachers as well. Someone can poison the machine learning. It is an IT system, and it gives wrong data. The AR, still the issue of privacy is very key, and it is at risk, the issue of privacy, because for you to use the AR and VR, there's some data that has to be collected. They collect your biometrics, they fit that gadget into your face. So there's an implication You look at artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, the chatbot. They can be used to spread fake news concerning the school. They can also spread fake news concerning the teacher. So students can program it and they spread fake news amongst themselves concerning a specific teacher. Automation of jobs is not, yes, it is an advantage, but when we do a lot of automations, it is going to affect us as human beings, because somehow we become like robots, and the computing power is very high. What do we mean? If you have to buy or take advantage of artificial intelligence, you need networks, you need IT systems, and they require a lot of resources in terms of the power that you are going to use, in terms of the internet connectivity. Sometimes you have to take, to leverage on, maybe 5G for you to draw the value from these emerging technologies. Gamification, very good, and it increases the motivation for the students. It helps all that. But now, one of the challenge, one of the challenge to do with gamification is distractions. So when you are doing the games, depending on the devices that you are using and the students are using, there can be distractions from social media and other platforms. Malwares is something like a virus. I know that you have been taken through this briefly. Something like a virus. Also, your identity can be stolen, because some of these gamification, they are online, and someone can hack into these platforms and they steal your identity and they use that identity in the wrong way. They can also hinder students' learning process. Naturally, as human beings, we have a natural process of growth, but if we try to force it using gadgets, using social media, we are already interrupting a very critical and natural process. I know as teachers, you understand this, and also it results into loss of performance. So these people and the students, somehow in the future, they become people who are not critical thinkers. They are so used into machines thinking for them. The e-learning, the last one, somehow the aspect of social isolation. Like now, I'm taking my master's, and we are a class of around 40 students, but I don't know them. Yes, we have met online, but my wish would be if we could be able to meet face to face. So I think there was some network issue there. Let me repeat on the e-learning. So I was saying that the social isolation, sometimes you need face to face, one-to-one physical interaction. So e-learning does not provide that. Malwares, computer that you are using, it can be impacted by malwares, viruses, which make it hard for you to access these e-learning platforms, identity them. Someone can steal your ID that you use. They log into those platforms, and before you know it, you lose your work that you had already done within the platform. So allow me to look at the preparedness. So we have looked at which are these emerging technologies. What are the benefits? They increase motivation, they help in cost saving, they help in effectiveness, all that. But now, what are the preparedness? We should anticipate that we might be attacked. And we are now speaking a language called cyber resilience. And cyber resilience is you anticipate that you can be attacked. And because of that, you take measures to prevent that attack from happening. For instance, you have your email, which you use to send your students some work. So what you do is that you take measures, put some antivirus in your computer, have some backups, because you anticipate in the event that you lose the data, you will have some backups to fall to. You are not going to be lost altogether. So cyber resilience is somehow related to the talking current artificial intelligence is going to be breached. So what are you going to do? The students are connected. You have 500 students connected. Your system is breached. So what are you going to do about that? And when you look at just one point cyber resilience, you can look at just a minute. Like the first one, the capacity. You draw from resilience. The same way that you say that I'm resilient, it's the same thing. So when you face different difficulties, you are able to come back as fast as possible. The same way, these technologies that we are using. And one example of an open source tool which you can take advantage of to learn, and it is open source. It is called Simple Risk. There's a link there, and you are going to get access to this list. Advantage of using open source. We have spoken about all this. So the focus here is on how to protect these emerging technologies. And as a school, you may need, or even as a teacher, you may need to buy some of these solutions, some of these cybersecurity solutions. Most of them are expensive. So we are introducing and motivating you to take advantage of open source. Why? Open source solutions like the links I've shared here. This one, simplerisk.com, is open source. No one is going to ask you for any money. One of the advantages, it is very flexible. For instance, you can take a solution from the internet. It is customized for your own school or for you yourself as a teacher. Another one is security. These open source solutions, they are programmed by different programmers around the world, and they make sure that they put security as a foundation. And the last one is the cost. Somehow you may not use a lot of money to purchase some of these solutions. And we are going to get into demo in the next 2 minutes. And the summary of the presentation is, you as a teacher, as a school, as an education center, as an institution, you need to have the necessary infrastructure in terms of IT, technology. There's something we are calling EdTech. EdTech is now the aspect of applying technology for education. Consider the cost that you are going to use before you buy that virtual reality. You may find one gadget is around $300. So do you have such money? You can maybe take advantage. You buy one as a sample for your students. You can leverage the already technology. Let's say you have some computers in your school. You yourself, you have a computer, a laptop. You can take advantage. You can start from there. Consider all the stakeholders. Bring on board the teachers, the management of the schools, the management of the institutions, the students themselves, because they are the consumers of this technology. They are parents. These are the ones that they pay for them, and they regulate the government. And now I'm happy that at least we have this platform that we are sharing all this. Consider, are you going to buy a computer into the school or for yourself? Are you going to take advantage of something like Google on the cloud? Also, make sure you roll out awareness before you tell students that they are virtual realities, they are artificial intelligence holders. You do not have to buy a solution worth $1,000. You can take advantage of one of the service providers to help you in that. Allow me to get into the briefly into the demo. Make sure that you come out of this session with just one thing. Even if you don't get everything, just make sure that you have understood just one thing that you can be able to go and practice. If we are able to achieve that, we will have already achieved our goal this evening. So that I don't sound, so nice in presentation and so technical, then the only thing you get out with in this presentation is, wow, that guy was presenting very well. No, like now we are looking at ChatGPT. It is a real application of artificial intelligence. So we are going to, you just go online, you go to chat.openai.com, you press enter, you look at register or sign up with your email, sign up so that you can start experiencing this specific amazing This is now the artificial intelligence that we were talking about. After you log in, you are going to see playground examples documentation. Just go directly to the playground. Let us ask our artificial intelligence, how do I protect myself? This is online and it is free. You can log in. You can create an account and log in. How do I protect myself from, let's say, from hackers? Then you ask the artificial intelligence. So the artificial intelligence is already telling us what to do, use strong passwords. So there is no one who is typing. This is artificial intelligence. And we said one advantage of artificial intelligence is it makes the learning effective. It also increases productivity for the students, and you can see who has given this. So we can also ask our artificial intelligence another question. How do I use AI? So as a teacher, you are asking it, how do I use AI to support my students? So this is a real life application of artificial intelligence, one of the emerging technology. So there's a lot of traffic because many people are using this artificial intelligence around the world. So you see, it is telling us, you can imagine yourself that in the next few years, if you are not careful as a teacher, you may find, and you are not upgrading your skill, you may find yourself somehow becoming somehow maybe irrelevant or something like that. So it has already told us, and you can ask it any question. In the interest of time, let's go now to an example of machine learning. So you can do some exercises with this on your own. Let's look at another learning, a real life application of machine learning. You can upload a document. It will help you to check if there are any spelling mistakes. You have given students some work and you want to see if they did some plagiarism online. It will help you with that. You want to see if the document has correctness. So it helps you to improve on the spelling, the grammar, the punctuations. You can upload a document. Let's see if you have a document here. So you can also create an account. All you need to do is just go to grammar.com. Then you are going to register for an account. And after you register, then you can be able to take full advantage of the platform. It is now uploading. It has uploaded. You will need some time, and you can learn on your own. So it is telling me, you see, it has already highlighted the first error in the document. It is not supposed to be policy with small p. It should be with that. Then I can just maneuver around, correcting, make sure this, correcting the document. And you see, it has already seen we have found 12 additional writing issues in this specific text. Then there are places that you may need to pay like a few dollars. So when you look at this is a risk. We have looked at risk and we have seen that by you using an emerging technology like artificial intelligence, it is possible for the same technology to work against you. We have seen people hack artificial intelligence and things happens. Internet of Things, they hack into, let's say, a fridge for a good example in our homes that we can relate to, and they increase the temperature of that specific, let's say, a fridge or anything else that you are using at your home. So we are looking at this, and the time may not allow us to go through in a very conclusive way, but you can take note of this or ask riskrating.com. So it helps you as a teacher, you as an institution, to be able to calculate your risk as an institution. For instance, you have IT, you have email, you have computers, you have internet. So what is the level of risk? We give it a value between 0 and 5. If your risk is 0, it means that you have already done some things to keep the risk as low as possible. If risk is 5, it means that you need to do some things, train users, train your students who are using the technology to keep the risk as low as possible. For instance, in the institution, we are going to look at this. In the institution, one of the impact when the emerging technology is reached or misused, there is a financial damage. So you give it a value according to what you have experienced in your own institution. For instance, minor effect on annual profit. So the VR or AI in your institution was hacked. Did it have any impact on your profit? You give it a value there. How about reputation? The school that we give example, the LA school, they already have a damaged reputation all over the internet. Compliance, you are required to comply to different standards as education sector. Privacy is going to be violated. Imagine someone hacking into this learning management system and posting your a student's score online. It is going to have so much impact. So after you have done that, there will be a value here. Then you continue. At the end, you will have a value that is between like 0. It will be between activities that you need to do so that you fix the issues which might come and have a negative impact by you using the new emerging technology. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I believe I'm done on my presentation. Linda?
Thank you so much, Frederick, for the awesome presentation. It has perfectly summarized with 4. And besides summarizing, I know we have learned some new concepts. For example, the ChatGPT, it was not covered within week 4. The use of open source tools, the encouragement to use open source tools was not covered. Grammarly was not covered. And from that, I believe that right now we can go home with some good concepts where we can apply in our teaching and also in our learning. And with that, we shall go into the Q&A session. I only see we have 4 questions, and I believe we can address them all within our time. The first question is, emerging technologies are associated with specific tools to aid learning. How can these tools be created by a teacher to teach, for instance, Kahoot? Frederick, I would like you to respond to that question.
Wow, thank you for that. If the teacher, sorry. Yeah, let me disable the video so that you can have or you can be audible. So if the teacher wants to create such tools, all they need is to first, the tools is created technically. So they need to have the requisite skills for them to do that. What do we mean? Some of these tools, they need you to know about the programming language. You may need something like PHP, Python. But one thing is that if, let's say, you don't have foundation in programming, you can take the wrong route, or you can partner with a programmer. You come on board with your skills in education, and the programmer comes on board with the skills in programming. Then you create a tool, and I have seen that work in so many ways. Also, you can encourage your students. Most of these tools are being done by high schoolers. So you can imagine that you can take advantage of your students, and encourage them to be able to do that.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Frederick, for that answer. You can encourage your students, or you can even get an expert to help you do that. Also, another question, please explain how e-learning has a risk of no student feedback. I don't understand how because there is learner-instructor interaction. Still to you, Frederick.
Yes, a question. Like now, I'm a student, and I'm a student online. So compared, I'm also doing another course physically. So compared to how I am interacting with the trainers or with the lecturers or the teachers, the physical and the online, the physical, I'm giving real-time feedback. You know, there are things that the lecturer will say, and I'll say, no, wait a minute, that is not right, or that is not how it's supposed to work. But when you come to the online, some of these classes are pre-recorded. So even when I'm listening and I really know I need to give a feedback to whoever is teaching, somehow it becomes very hard. Yes, they encourage us to send feedback, but as human beings, you know, the students will most of the time, unless you know you are into them so much and encourage them to do that. I have seen that as one of the risks. You may think as a teacher that you are actually teaching, but you are not getting any feedback because they are not even like, you know, there's no structure in place to push them to give you feedback.
Yeah, thank you for that, Frederick. Moving on to the next question. We all tend towards the use of emerging technology, or maybe we all tend to move towards the use of emerging technologies, especially in tertiary institutions. How then can we use them to improve our education? Still to you, Frederick.
So how we can take advantage of the emerging technology to improve?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are like almost like some of the benefits, and you must look at it from both sides. You must look at it, you must put the teacher into the picture, and also put the students into the picture, and also the parent. So to the teachers, most of these emerging technologies, they are coming to harness things. They are coming to make it easier for you. You don't stop becoming a teacher, you are still a teacher. But the mode of delivery is what now changes. Where you are supposed to deliver to one-on-one, to one student, you can now broadcast your content to 1,000 students. It can be recorded and it can be replayed to other students sometimes later. Also, when you look at the students, it becomes easier for them. Some of them, they are taking different courses, and the more they take advantage of these tools, it becomes also easier for them. Also, it makes them to be more effective. Like for me, I'm here, and in the next 2 hours, I'll be in a class that will go for almost 2 hours. So these are some of the advantages for institutions.
All right, thank you for that, Frederick. Another question, how do I create an account to be able to use AI? I'll handle this one. It depends with the type of the AI that you want to use. For example, if you're using the ChatGPT, it will guide you actually. When you click on that link, which I've just shared in the chat, and it will also be shared with the write-up that will come along with the recording. When you click on that link, it gives you some guidelines. Like it prompts you to input your username, your email address, you select your country and all that. Once you do that, you'll have created an account. And I believe that all AI systems do prompt you how to create an account. All right, going on, another person is concerned about whether they'll be able to have access to the video, to the recorded webinar. Yes, these will be shared on your through the emails and on the YouTube channel, the way we always do with other webinars. Another question, how do we protect students from cyberbullies? Kindly, Frederick, address this.
Okay, a good question, because we may focus a lot on the side of the teachers. So it starts as online grooming, then it keeps graduating from one level to the other. And one of the things is that the teachers, they need to be aware. Like now, such sessions that you have had for the last few weeks, they are very good for you. And you have to practice after this. You have to know which are these cyber risks, because when you become aware, then the students, they will even be free to come to you when someone is already, molesting them online and cyberbullying them. The problem that we have, most of our teachers, they are not aware of cyber risk. So for instance, if I have an example of a lady who is around 15 years, and all she did in Instagram, someone sent her a private part, a man. And what she did is that she went to the teacher, showed the teacher, and what the teacher did was almost like punishing her. You have now become a pornography addict, and the lady had not done even anything. And what happened is that just by that reaction from the teacher, the lady was pushed into pornography for about close to 3 years. Of course, we are now working with her throughout that journey. But you can imagine if the teacher was aware that there's something called, online molesting, online grooming, cyberbullying, somehow he could have provided the right knowledge to this specific term. And another one is from the IT and technology perspective. There's a way that some structures are set in place. Keep talking to the students to carry the same hygiene, the same discipline they have physically, to carry it along online. So let me summarize it that way.
Yeah, that is well addressed. Thank you, Frederick. Another question: is there any avenue for teachers to be physically trained for some time to enable them acquire much in emerging technologies? Okay. I find it okay. Okay. I'll address it. Then Frederick, you will also top up. For this one, I think it depends on your school policy, and at this rate, I think that it's good if schools, or rather, let's say the government, has let's say it comes up with a program to train not only teachers but even its civil servants or any other government employee to be trained on emerging technologies, because actually currently there's a lot of emerging technologies, not only in education but in other sectors as well. And you find that these technologies come to make our work easier, but there's resistance to them, or people do not have knowledge about them, and therefore they're not serving us the purpose that they should serve. And instead, people with malicious intentions, like hackers, are exploiting these technologies to maybe fraud people out of their money, or even to breach their data. I think, Frederick, you can top up on that.
Yes. Thank you for that. One thing that can happen is, now that the teacher, as a teacher, you have the knowledge. I'm sure you are connected to a school, to some students. I think you can be an ambassador where you are. You can start as small as possible. Capacity build yourself. For the last 4 weeks, I think you have been taken through this. You have acquired the knowledge. Challenge yourself first. And number 2, try to speak to your students. Let them know that even as you take advantage of online, there is the other side, the dark side of online. And within the school, become the champion. Go to other teachers, try to influence their mindset in things concerning the technology within the school. And the last one is, try to talk to the management of the school, so that I'm sure you have IT people, cybersecurity people within your region, and you can organize yourself. You can do some benchmarkings with time. Which schools in your vicinity already are taking advantage of AI? Do you have, like I have seen from the chat, one person, I think from Ghana, that they are already using ChatGPT. So that is a very good contact, who can be able to guide you as a teacher on how to take more advantages.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Frederick. Let's handle the last question, then we go into other matters. Talking about African teachers and students, what advice do you have for teachers or students in rural areas where probably there are no constant lights poverty, no enabling environment, data, etc. Frederick, I think you can close up with this one. You can close up the Q&A session with this one.
Yes, thank you, leader, for this. Allow me just 10 seconds. This one that I saw where they were asking that how can all this improve the lives of the teachers financially and benefit the teacher? I think that is very important. Take advantage of these platforms. We have shared the knowledge with you. We have made you aware that nowadays the artificial intelligence might replace you as a teacher. So do you want to be replaced? Take advantage of the online platforms which are free of charge to create your own courses, to create your own trainings. Gather, get some students online. It's very possible. I have a course online that I started about 3 years ago, and it has acquired some traction so far. On the issue of the rule of, this is where now the government comes in. And if you look at the SDG, they have already laid some sort of a roadmap, and then the government comes on board. But you know, there are platforms which are supposed to be accessed through the internet. But when you go to the rural areas, the internet is not easily accessible. So you can look at some of the solutions which maybe you can access through a platform like USSD, not necessarily the internet connection, but it is a very tricky situation because it has to do a lot somehow with how the government is going to push even the issues of the power, the issue of the internet. But as long as a teacher that you have this desire and passion, you can go to any length, you know, make some time, take some sacrifice, move somewhere to town for a day or 2 days, look for such conferences. It has a lot to do with sacrifice. But I know where we are heading to, digital transformation globally, we are heading to the right direction.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Frederick, for the presentation and for addressing the questions. If your question has not been addressed, we shall do that in the write-up. We shall address it in the write-up and share it together with the recording. Now, we have to close the Q&A session, and I would like to talk about tracking your certificates. I know this is a very it's a serious matter because most people want to get their certificates after they have completed this course. Just allow me to project my screen, to share my screen, so that we can see how we can track our certificates. All right. So now, how you're going to track your certificates? For week 1, we have 3 activities during that week and a quiz. And also the end of module assessment. We have 2 quizzes, end of module assessment, and 3 activities. So for week 1, make sure that you have completed at least 2 certificates. You have scored at least 60% in the quizzes. You have completed at least 2 activities. You have scored at least 60% in the quizzes. And also you have scored at least 60% in the end of module assessment. That will, once you complete that, that is the criteria for completion of, for you to be awarded the certificate of completion. And if you want to be awarded the certificate of participation, you have to ensure that you complete at least 2 activities. You score at least 50%. Then also you score that is in the quiz, in the quiz, in the 2 quizzes, and in the end of module assessment. That is for week 1. For week 2, we have 4 activities. Ensure that you complete at least 2 activities in week 2, and you score at least 60% in the quiz and also in the module assessment. That will enable, once you do this for week 2, it will help you, enable you get the certificate of completion. When you want a certificate of participation, make sure that you do at least 2 activities, then you score at least 50 in the quiz and in the module assessment. For week 3, we have 3 activities. Make sure that you have completed at least 1 of the activities and also scored 60 and above. that will earn you certificate of completion. And if you want a certificate of participation, you also have to complete at least one of the activities and score at least 50% in the quiz and in the module assessment. For week 4, we only have 2 activities. Make sure that you have completed at least one of the activities. That is a requirement for both certificate, for you to earn the certificate of participation and certificate of completion, and also score at least 60% in the quiz and in the module assessment to help you earn the certificate of completion, and 50% in both the quiz and assessment, module assessment, to earn a certificate of participation. We are doing this because at the end of it all, you find some participants complain that I completed the course, but I was not able to earn any certificate. When you accomplish all these requirements here, the requirements for certificate of completion, that is doing activities and scoring above 60%, that will earn your certificate of completion. For certificate of participation, you have to complete the quizzes, the activities as guided here, and also score at least 50%. I believe that is okay. And also there was a survey that was shared in the morning. The survey is about tell us your story. So we just want to know your experience as you are taking this course. And tomorrow also there will be a survey that will be shared. That is the end of course survey that will be shared. And we encourage you to participate in the surveys because they help us get feedback and also improve on the course. I believe with that ado, I would like to call this session to an end. If there's any question, or you can reach us through Telegram, and also through email, and also even through the platform itself. I thank you for being part of this webinar, being part of the course. And I thank you, Frederick, for presenting to us and sharing your knowledge. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy your morning. Enjoy your day.